with punishments to scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Welcome to Vora Method. Let's talk today about teenage rebellion. It's a big question that adults have. Why are teenagers so rebellious? Why do people going from being relatively reasonable, pliable kids to just impossible to manage teenagers? Well, the difference between a teenager and a child is obvious. Teenagers are older, they're smarter, they're stronger. The question is, what exactly is the difference between a teenager and an adult? Intelligence-wise, not much. By the time you're 16, you have your adult IQ. Physical strength, the difference is non-existent, with teenagers often physically stronger than older adults. There is a difference in prudence, but to paraphrase Thomas Hobbes, prudence is something that we all get over time when we apply ourselves equally to things. So as long as you're striving for something, you're going to learn to be cautious over time. So it's not that. The thing is this. The reason that teenagers are so rebellious is that there is no difference between a teenager and an adult at all. A teenager is an adult who's forced to live the role of a child, and that would make anybody rebellious. Adults in that setting would become rebellious. How do we know? Well, there's tons of psychological experiments that show that, and you go to any prison, you see a lot of rebellious adults. If any adult was forced to live in their parents' house and follow a bunch of nonsense rules there, and then on top of that go to a school and follow some rules that simply didn't make any sense, there they would refuse. Adults are often unhappy in their jobs, but they do have the option to switch jobs, and they're also getting paid to be there, not just forced to be there for absolutely no reason. The problem is that this leads to teenagers engaging in the worst types of adults' behaviors. Drug use, promiscuity, etc. But it doesn't have to be that way. Here's what I believe. I believe that there should be more teenage entrepreneurship than teenage pregnancies. I believe more teenagers should get jobs than get stoned. And I believe that you can do that. Now, this is important not just for the extreme behaviors, but also for the smaller behaviors. If you recognize that you are biologically, psychologically, mentally, physically, in every imaginable way an adult, and then you start taking adult responsibilities, I guarantee you won't be wanting to waste your time with rebellion. You're going to be wanting to achieve the amazing things that you can in the free market. Now, in the recent past even, it was fairly difficult for teenagers to get any kind of a job. At Vora Method, we don't mind breaking stupid laws, so we did have some that worked here, but generally it can be hard because there's laws against teenagers getting jobs below a certain age. But the good news is today, with all the different freelancing sites out there and whatnot, that simply is no longer the case. You can start real, interesting, creative work today. Check out sites like Fiverr.com if you want to start small, or 99 Designs if you want to test out graphic design. There are so many different places, Elancer, for example, where you can put your coding skills to use. Listen, the people that you know right now that are just kind of dumb, when they're adults, they're still going to be kind of dumb, but they're going to manage to get jobs. Nothing is going to stop you from starting a business or from getting a job except your own laziness. You can spend this next week playing video games and wasting your time on nonsense, or you can spend this next week joining the free market, the very definition of true and independent adulthood. If you want to do that, the key things to build